Safia Ahmed, Hajra Ahmed, John Otto, and well, let's kick it off from last week's show.
Fun, informative, yeah.
John, how did you feel?
Because some of the stuff we had to look at, you've actually got some real-time feedback that you've
Absolutely.
used, and I think that is the best thing to know. It's not just an abstract amount of here's something we went and we've used it, here's some more feedback,
Right.
which I think has to be valuable for the average guy.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect way to kick off the show, right? Starting off with the products that we have used. Now, we reviewed the BGMQ, and I went as far as getting one, thanks to where we are hosting the show from, the Kingfisher. So we fished with this last night, Hutch.
Yes, we did. And,
And-
I'm surprised you actually went back home with it and somebody didn't pick it off of you.
So it was beautiful. It was brilliant. I absolutely loved it because it paired up perfectly with that Poseidon eclipse. It threw like a dream. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get fish. But
still had fun.
we had fun getting it out there. It fits and balances out perfectly with that. So this is the 10,000 size that I've paired up with that 14.6 Eclipse. And it's amazing. I can't wait to keep on getting into it. But just the feel of it, everything from the balancing, I've got 30-pound line on there, it casted unbelievably. So we just waited to see what it feels like with some fish.
It's going to be your summer setup. We are going to set up for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we've got a couple products laid out here where we are talking about mainly fishing in the basin because that's going to be this time of the year, right? When you're fishing those for blue skate, right? That's the season that's coming up. But before that, recapping on some of last time's products, the clone lures, right? Now I threw these over, I think not last week, the week before. And guys, it was amazing. It throws unbelievably, right? So I first went with the 2 ounce, and my rod is rated up to 3 ounce, and it did have a bit of a bounce, right? And it was more like, you're just listening to a bit of R&B music with my rod tip just doing the slightest bounce out there. So then I switched to the 1.5 ounce, and it was one of those casts. It's like, did I throw that? Google couldn't even find it. That's how far this thing went. So once again, drink catch fish with it, right? But we know, you're not going to catch a fish on every outing with a lure. But it throws amazingly. And then over the week, with the reports that were coming through, I have been seeing some footage where they were catching cob with these things. Yeah, so what I've heard is it throws amazingly as it comes down. It's got this fluttering motion. And then the slow retrieve, you can fish it along the ground. And that's where the guys were getting some cob. So, yeah, I'm excited about this one.
So my question is, what did you find was your happiness factor? What was it? What worked for you?
That's the beauty of it. I was fishing it both ways. I had rod slightly up, fast retrieve. It was keeping it on the surface. And then obviously, after 20, 30 casts, nothing much is happening. Try the slower retrieve, and it just goes down, and you can feel it swimming at the bottom. Yeah, so that's when the rod is down, and you just got a slower retrieve, and it's bouncing off the ground.
And that's definitely one that will work for cob, because your cob will very seldom come up to the surface.
Yes.
It wants the lure on the ground,
Yeah.
picking sand even, if you can. So if you feel that you're dragging this along the bottom, if you're fishing for cob, that's not a bad thing. That's what you wanted to do.
Yes.
In the start.
Perfect. Yeah, that's
Very
what I kind of felt.
I can imagine this would fly on the right outfit. It would go.
Oh,
It would
yes.
really go.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I was wondering, well, was that me that casted this? So the good thing about it is that I like that I can fish a hard plastic on the ground. There's not many lures that I can find that you could do that with. Mainly we know for the cob we use in our paddle tails and that kind of stuff, but to use a hard lure off the ground and using the same lure off the surface, should there be the conditions for the kingies or whatever it may be, it is.
A lot of bang for your buck. And also with the single hook, if you're willing to forego the belly hook and you use just one hook,
Yeah.
it's as snap-tooth as you're going to get.
Yes,
So you
absolutely.
can throw it into a rocky gully and you shouldn't really get stuck. You shouldn't get stuck excessively.
Okay, perfect. Right, now another one we wanted to talk about is okay, so we got a range of stuff out here. Why don't you guys pick one? What are you talking about? Let's talk about go ahead.
I think I'll start with this. It's a mustard floating lip grip.
Uh-huh.
What I like about this is that it's plastic. So it's decreasing the chance of injuring the fish, causing the fish when you're gripping the fish.
Yeah.
We have two here actually. Haj, maybe you want to look at the other one. That's made up of a different material. This one also floats in the water. It has a wristband, firstly for safety. You know,
Absolutely.
when you're biting that fish, you don't want to be holding anything else in your hand. Also, you have no time to run back to your box and get that grip. to
And
help you.
one of you two are always losing something out there.
Yes, it's the one that's kicking the thing.
Oh, okay. So no wonder it appeals
Exactly,
to
I
you
like
because
this
you
one.
drop stuff a lot.
Yes, there's a wrist lanyard. Also, this one floats in the water. So if by any chance you have to let go of this, I think you'll be able to locate it quite easily. Okay, another big advantage of this lip grip is that it won't rust because it's made out of plastic.
That's a huge advantage.
Huge advantage considering where we're using it.
So we have another one that's a pistol de-hooker. I think this is a little bit more comfortable. It's smaller. It has a non-slip grip. So I think more for your smaller species compared to the previous one that you discussed.
Also, the length on that one, it allows for more play in case the hook has been ingested.
So not all the creatures are going to get close to you.
Well, around this time of the year, John, we've got tigerfish coming up. So
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are going to be quite handy at this time of
I
the year.
think this is going to be very useful, especially for tigerfish, because you do not want to be putting your hand anywhere near a tigerfish's mouth. That's a really, really bad idea. But even for people who are a little bit squeamish about catching gray shark, and you're not entirely sure to handle it, rather than
Yes.
jam your hand down there and do something stupid, get the appropriate tool. There's various price points. Unhook the fish safely for yourself, safely for the fish, get the fish back in the water. We're very conservation conscious at the moment. You do not want to be standing there looking helpless with the shark flopping around in the shore bait. So do yourself a favor and get a decent de-hooking tool. At best, it's going to save you a trip to the emergency room for sleep.
100%. Save a finger. Yeah.
Small, it's compact, it'll fit in your bag, no problem at all, and it's going to save you bleeding.
Quite affordable as well. I
Very
mean, for this
affordable.
price range, I think it's quite affordable.
Okay, just roughly what prices are we looking at?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the mustard is at 163 rand.
Okay. And something other that's also a mustard, right?
This is also a mustard.
Is there
This
a
one
price?
is 330 rand.
Okay, cool. So there's something with all price
Something for
brackets.
everyone,
Yeah, depends on what you want to go with. Also touching on that, I mean, we've got the one with the scale on it, right? And this is handy for this tiger fishing time. So weigh your fish, keep it safe, keep it away from you, and then let go. I mean, this is essential.
Off
You
a
can,
boat, off a ski boat, in the bay when you've got a
Yeah.
gunter or something that you want to handle safely, unhook the fish,
Yes.
return it safely, very good.
This one also has a measuring tape.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't realize.
So not just the weight, if you want to check the length of your fish as well,
Okay.
you are able to do that.
And it's also up to 25 kilos.
Which is, yeah, fantastic. Exactly. I think anything more than 25 kilos, you're going to take it back to the gantry. So, yeah, and this one goes for about 425 bucks. So, I mean, 100 rand more, you're getting something with a scale on it.
Way better outfit, more options.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the other thing I wanted to touch about, we've got a couple pairs of sunglasses now. I cannot go anywhere without my shades, right? You just get so accustomed to it. John and I were talking about this before, that whether you're driving, whether you're fishing, you need a pair of sunglasses. Now, what I like about this Brentoni range is that they cover the ballistics. Obviously, the Makos are under there, but you got your ballistics, and they even got a range called the Raptors, which retails for like 200 rand. Now, what I like about this is that the ballistics are around the 600 rand mark. Obviously, your Makos are a couple thousand rand. You get the 200 rand one still does the job. Now, obviously, the difference is this got multiple layers of Polaroids in it. Your scratch-proof lenses. You pay for what you get. But what I started liking about the entry-level ones, it does the job, and I got into those because we've got young kids, right? And when they were growing up, they would just break my glasses. You just break it. And a lot of guys find that they want to keep a pair of sunglasses in their tackle box. They want to keep it in the car, so here comes the discussion, and this is what I was interested about, right? We were chatting, and we were saying you could get maybe 3 pairs of ballistics, which is really good. I mean, I use the ballistics at the moment. Or you could get your pair of Makos. And where would you guys come in with that? I mean, I know it's a tricky one, right? Because we love the high-end Jamaicas, Costas, and all of those kind of things. Would we want one good pair? Or should we have an average pair that's going to be all over, that's going to do the job?
I think maybe for me this would be a bit of a doubt because
Yeah.
if you're fishing off the rocks and you get one freak wave and your glasses goes, it's gone.
Yeah. Although it's the ultimate pair to have.
Yes. So I would really
Yeah.
want to have this and fish off the rocks with it.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't want to be there crying, oh my glasses. Away from me, not being
Cocoon in it,
Yes.
keep it in a cotton wool. Because it is absolutely gorgeous. And it's something that, you're going to save a little bit for and get. So yeah, you would want to keep it in a bit of cotton wool.
Yes.
And you tend to drop things a lot.
Yes.
So would you go
Definitely
with
can't afford
those or would you go with the ballistics?
In terms of comfort, I was looking at the design of both the pairs of glasses, and they both have a very similar design in terms of the way it sits on your face.
Yes.
So here for your nose is padding, and the part that sits on the side of your head. Because I find that sometimes when you use glasses and it's not the right fit, it sort of like squashes you in the side here.
Yeah. For sure.
And gives you a headache over an extended period of time. So I wouldn't mind going with the ballistics actually, because based on the design and the way it sits on my face when I tried it on, it's actually quite comfortable. Quite comfortable.
John, what's your take?
Well, firstly, I think as we discussed earlier, some form of eye protection is absolutely non-negotiable.
Yeah.
We're going into summer now, the sun is extremely sharp, whether you're driving, whether you're fishing, you want to have eye protection.
Mm.
You know, the guys who know Natal, you spend a day in Durnford without sunglasses. At the end of the day, you think you've got a bad case of arc eyes. Because of the glare, the sun is very bright, the sand is white, the glare just kills you.
Yes.
At the end of the day, this is going to make you more efficient. As for cost, some people drive Hawksy, some people drive BMW. I think it depends on what kind of person you are. If you're the clumsy type that tends to sit on your glasses or lose them, I would say for the price of a top-end pair of glasses, you could probably buy 12 of those. So you can have one in your car,
Yeah.
one in your tackle bag, one in your handbag, one around your neck, and you can sit on a few. Like I said, you look very cool with your 4,000 rand makers and costas and so on.
Yeah.
The ocean don't care. When it spits you up at the beach, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's 4,000 rand down the tubes. I honestly think there's the glasses you like and the glasses that you need.
Yes.
I'd love a pair like these, but I would be very sour if I got washed up and lock and these disappear. Rather than the 200 rand stay disappear. And there's the manufacturers that probably scream at me. For the average guy, there's not a hell of a lot. They both polarize and both give you protection.
No, I think essentially it gives you the same thing. Just like you said, a VW and a BM can take you to the same place. It's how you get there. Now, I do know these higher end pairs of sunglasses do have multiple layers of
Yes,
polarized.
and a lot of them have glass lenses.
Yes,
Particularly
that's
because-
scratch-proof stuff.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But they break just as easily when you sit on them.
No,
That's the point I'm making.
no, I get that. No, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so guys, it comes down to your personal preference and what you prefer to have, right? I mean, like I said, she drops her stuff all the time. I tend to break my stuff all the time. She's worried about her stuff, 4,000 rand falling off the boat. And John says they all essentially do the same thing. It depends on what you want to go with. We all know we love to have one of the higher end pairs. It depends on how well you take care of your stuff. Yeah. Okay, so that's eyewear, which is crucial and which is done as we're getting into spring. Actually, you need eyewear throughout the year, whether it's winter or spring or summer. Yeah, so it's not just to look cool in summer, Yeah.
I think there's two. You look at the top, and I'm talking about the ladies and your top. Again, I come from a provincial angling background.
Yeah.
This is not a fashion accessory.
No, it's an
This
essential.
is a
yeah.
tool. You'll see the top guys. They tend to veer towards the top end of the market. Because when you're in a tournament at Stray Squad, you cannot be standing there and squinting like Mr. McGrew. You want to be as well equipped as you can be.
Yes.
So that when that fish of a lifetime comes along, that you are ready to handle it. You've got the right outfit, you've got the right kit. You can see the structure, you can see the difference in watercolor.
Well, that's exactly
you
where
can
those
identify
makeups
structure
come in,
where
yeah.
Polaroid, where the other guys maybe not.
Yes.
And speaking for myself, as you get older, boy, eye protection becomes more and more
Yeah.
important.
No, for
Because
sure.
the eyes are not
100%.
young anymore. They take strain a lot quicker.
Hmm.
So even just to prevent eye fatigue, wear them in the winter.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like I said, we can't do without it. Yeah.
It's a year-round thing,
Yeah.
which I like. So in that sense, maybe it does make, if you're careful, to invest in a good pair, because you're going to look after it.
Yeah.
Whereas a 200 rand pair, you get excited. So I would pick it up on the beach.
No, sure.
When you wear Costa or Maker, you're probably going to have them properly around your neck, under your jacket, so they don't slip and fall and get smashed.
No, for
But
sure.
some of us are clumsy and we sit on that.
Well, to just touch on that, mentioning Strafe by and I pushed my national there last year. The sand is white sand.
White sand, I can confirm.
Yeah.
It like pierces your eyes.
Yes.
And the glasses that I wore at the time were not wraparound glasses.
I'm just gonna pick on that. It's curved. This ballistic one is curved, and that's more of a box
You
shell. Yeah.
want to cut out
You're on
that peripheral
complete
side.
coverage.
I actually ended off with archives. And
Really?
I couldn't open my eyes on the third day of the tournament.
And it's 4 days, so it's a cumulative. No,
Yes.
It's not just one day and you think, okay, now it's done.
Yeah.
Every day it gets worse because you've got something as small as not having the right pair of glasses makes you less effective.
Yeah.
It sounds weird.
No,
but
for
it
sure.
actually is.
There's obviously a reason why one pair is 200 rand, whereas one pair is 4,000 rand. And it's because of what you get out of it. So like you said, we're taking the sport seriously. Those multiple layers of polarized, the various colors and shades that go into it is going to make all the difference with the contrast that you are seeing. Not to say that that's not going to protect you from the glare, but yeah, it's what you want to get out of it. Okay, so I think we've touched enough on the eyewear, and it's enough for the consumer to decide what he wants. Right, now I want to talk about, we're getting out of winter, but there's still like a lot of shadow around, right? And the classic spoons are our Gold Falcon, never not have one in your box. And then if you want something more casting, well, we've got the Kingfisher Toby spoon, the good old classic Toby spoon. We were walking around and we said, let's talk about spoons for a bit. You cannot not have it at this time of the year. It's like,
Anytime we share it around, and unless you particularly like messing with baits and bait cotton and steel wire and bungs,
mummifying your bait. Yeah.
I'm in the grumpy old man state. If I fish for shad, I use a spoon. If I don't want a spoon, I'm not interested.
Well, try it now.
I couldn't be bothered with a bait box and a knife and cotton. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I want to walk onto the beach on a first spoon. If I can eat a spoon, fine. If I don't eat a spoon, maybe I'll get you tomorrow. But you have to have a spoon. It's not negotiable.
Yeah.
It really isn't negotiable.
Okay, so your eyewear and your spoon is not negotiable. All right. So I think my personal favorite has been the Skull Falcon. I mean, we all know, we've all had our standard Toby spoons, but there is no time that I've ever, if there's a shed around, it always takes this. But I don't know what it is about this Gold Falcon.
It's just-
I tried the the Falcon makes a couple different colors. The silver and blue and the red and blue and all of that, they do work, but a Gold Falcon is
Tend to
the
work.
ultimate.
10 to 1.
Why?
It's just
You
one of
guys are
those
pros here,
spoons-
guys. You tell me why.
You
That
don't-
works.
You don't always know why it works. It just works.
Okay.
And if it just works, people tend to not question.
Okay, like the light glow. Yeah, the light bulb just works. I don't know how or why, but it just works. Okay.
So a little something that I noticed. It may not be applicable all the time.
Yeah.
And also, and to share alone. But I feel like I've noticed for me, the gold seems to slow down on the bite when the sun starts to go down a bit.
Oh, okay.
And what's worked for me again is when that happens, I switch to the silver, and it seems to work as good as the gold would work when the sun is up.
Well, that
I'm
is
not
interesting.
sure if it's a seasonal. I'm not sure if it's probably just the shine that.
That level's making.
The way the light is
Yeah.
reflecting off the gold and the silver.
Yeah, but that's just switch to the silver for me once the sun is down. I know
Okay.
the silver works just then.
Well, that's a perfect time to drop your comments and let us know what you think about that. All right, so shared spoons are out there. Now we know it's going to be Blu-ray tan, right? And we tried that last night. Didn't get to christen my reel. However, there were some pretty cool traces that you showed me, and there's the stuff that the guy can just walk into a tackle store and buy. right? So we were talking about this. There's bite traces that we could use. Rather go with the bite trace because they are the gray shark around amongst that blue rays. But let's touch on some of these, right? John, you kicked this off
Okay.
about the traces.
In a perfect
Yeah.
world, if you knew you were going to target blue skates, you could fish with a straight nylon threads. They don't have teeth, they're not going to bite you. But we don't live in a perfect world. So you've got to build in a little bit of protection against your gray shark, who are going to bite you off. And you don't really want to have a pool get bitten off and have a fish swimming around with open jaw. It's not good practice. So we think go for the grey shark thrace, which is tied by various people. You can get them in most tackle shops, especially if you're too busy. Nowadays, people don't really have the time to sit and tie traces exhaustively. You can come into the shop, you can load a couple of these into your bag, and you're ready for anything that you're going to come across in the summer season, whether it be a grey shark, a blue skate, a brown skate, diamond. As you go into the bigger fish like your honeysuckle and your sandies, you might have to stop chopping and changing. But I guarantee you, with blue skates especially, the finer you rig, the better your bite thread's going to be.
Okay.
I wouldn't ever throw a full metal jacket full. It's overkill, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I would always start with the small bite threads. If I get beaten, then I'll go to the full metal jacket and get seared.
Okay.
But as you were talking about your outfits, 30 sound, 80 pound leader, just a normal bite thread. And the shorter wire you can have, the better. Which takes us back to the soft wire we were talking about. Have soft wire.
Yes.
Don't have rigid heavy wire. Any regular sized grey shark is not going to bite you off on 100 to 120 pound nylon cutter. Don't put 200 pound nylon cutter.
Sure. You were telling me 75 to 100 is ideal for
75
grades.
to 100. I'll give you on a side note. Down in the Cape, we fish for rabbit, and we Natal guys we come loaded to the hill. 200 pound full metal jacket, 250,
Great.
and the locals cannot stop not.
Good.
Down there, 120 start to finish,
Really? Eh?
Monday to Sunday.
Wow.
But I can tell you, what are you doing?
Yeah.
There is no raggy that's going to go through 150 pound wire or 100 pound wire, 120 pound wire. 120 pound is for your average guy, 120 is for each carrot. Once you get into black fins and so on and sardina, definitely you want to upsell. But for your day-to-day fishing, 120 to 100 to 120 is fine.
Oof.
You're not going to lose any fish about it, and it will get you more bites if you go finer.
Oh,
Especially with these guys, if you hammer them, let's keep it a fish in a basin week after week. You've got a captive, almost a captive bunch of blue scat. And the more you hammer there, the more suspect they are. We start getting less bites, you start getting very suspicious bites, because they've been hooked and fought probably 10 times in the last week. So now they're very, very scared. The more natural your bait looks, the smaller your hook is, the lighter your wire, you're going to get the bite. Whereas a guy with these bare tackle is just going to be what you use.
Yeah, sure. All right. So, you know what? While we were talking about those ready-made chases, now 348 Maruchu, the 5.0s, I was mainly under the impression for my blue skates I'm going to be using 4.0s, right? But then recently they said go 5.0, right? And you tell me a bit more. Okay, first let's start off with why is this such a good hook down for our blue skates and that kind of thing?
Why is it such a good hook?
Why is it such a good hook? I mean, I know why I like it, right? Because of the brand.
Touching on the brand, in terms of competition fishing, I know this is one of the best brands that we go to. Often leading after competition, so we find that this is wiped off the shelf completely.
100%. And I would like to know why.
So when I look at it, it's slightly offset.
Yeah.
So my personal preference is an offset because it's almost like never missing a bite.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have that problem of a fish coming and squashing the hook or missing the bite. It's perfectly in that corner. Also, if you look at the shape of this hook, you can also get away with hitting fish. It is a circle.
I was just going to say that. From what I know, if it's an offset circle, you can strike.
Yes. So specifically with the Maruchu, it's tried and tested for me, and I know that it always works.
Yeah.
And when I say hit it, I don't mean now go and
yank it like a J-O.
Yeah.
Don't be running up the beach.
Don't do things like that. But like John mentioned, especially for our blues, when you get a blue that's already been hooked, it's already been injured, and it's going to be sitting there thinking like, do I want to eat this? Do I not want to eat this? You're probably going to have a blue sitting in your bait for 5 minutes, full sometimes, and that can get frustrating. So in that case, you can hit it, and you will hook the fish. Also, if you look at it, if you look at the color of the hook, it's gonna be blending in with a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be striking. It's not gonna be standing out there. It's a solid hook. It's a strong hook. You're not gonna open it. You're not gonna have a problem with it.
Right.
So, like Saf said, around our competition time, especially the 5-0 and 4-0, is off the shelf. Like if we're approaching competition, we gotta go at least a few months in advance. And
Yeah.
I'm not even exaggerating. So you're gonna be hunting.
So everyone knows
Yes.
that this 348
Yes.
circle is the go-to hook.
Also, like you said, you thought about the 4-0s all along, but now you've been told about 5-0. So the 5-0 is more of a standard. You can catch anything from your gray shark, your blues, your browns. You may even get away with your smaller diamonds, things like that. But the 4-0 comes in when you need a downsize, when the bite is low.
Would I use that for browns and
Blues.
Blues.
Yes. So
Okay.
the smaller the hook for the blues, the lighter the trace, the more natural everything looks, like John
Yeah.
mentioned. It's gonna be a higher chance of getting a bite and getting that fish to stick than sitting with a 5-0 or a 6-0 where the fish is gonna feel the resistance, it's gonna feel how heavy and dense your bait is. You must know the larger your hook, the higher the resistance. So as soon as he bites it, apart from your dangle, he's gonna feel that way.
Yeah.
So all of that comes into play.
So when would I ever use the 1-0s and 2-0s and 3-0s?
Stone brim, bronze brim.
With the heavier gauge, wouldn't I use the lighter gauge for that?
You could, but your bigger bronze brim wouldn't mind tipping a 1-0. Absolutely.
Okay. So for my bream species, I'm going up to a 3-0,
I'd put it.
up to a 2-0.
Yeah.
So the 3-0 is just like that. If I'm scaling down even further from that.
Your 3-0 could be your cob, things like that, your bigger edibles.
Yes.
I know for me.
Lesson.
Yes, your lessons.
Okay, so that's when the
But
3-0 comes
even
in. Yeah.
even a lesser, I'd rather be having a 4-0
Yeah.
than a 3-0. The 3-0 is that in between size of hook where you look at it for bronze brim, you think no.
It's too big, yeah.
And you look at it for blues and lessers, you think no.
Yeah.
Just a weird size.
Okay.
Probably somebody out there is going to phone in or make a comment that it's their best book.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm happy for you. But
Once again,
generally,
Yeah.
I would say up to a 2-0 for your smaller gullies. Once you start swanking 4-0s and 5-0s, you're now looking for better fish. You're looking for lessers and up. Lessers, small browns, small blues. Remember, blues are not always just giant. Sometimes you get the very small sort of soup plate ones.
Yeah.
Brown skates too. And a small brown skate that's maybe 3 or 4 kilos. That's valuable points. The bigger the hook, the more he's going to fumble. And he's going to fumble. And he's going to fumble. And you're going to stand there and you're going to get so annoyed that you just want to hit.
Yeah.
Whereas if you give him a smaller hook and a small bait, he's more likely to swallow it down on.
Okay. Now,
Good hook.
6, 7, and 8-0s, seeing that we're talking about the Marusha 348s, would I not use those for fishing, like for blues, browns, that kind of thing? Would that be overkill? Would that just go purely for diamonds and honeys?
I think so. I think a 6-0 would be a little bit too big. However, if you know that the bigger browns, because we do get really big browns on
Yes.
the South Coast, specifically from just before Scottish down. So if you know the bigger browns in the area, I wouldn't go further than a 6-0. If you're fishing for your honeycombs, your bigger diamonds, a diamond smash, your bigger ray sharks, then I would go 7-0, 8-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, something that maybe not everybody is aware of, but not everybody fishes pilchard shot.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't want edibles at all, they see them as a nuisance. But again, the way we're fishing now is a dingle dangle.
Yes.
The circle loop is absolutely perfect because you literally have to do nothing, let the
Yeah.
fish hook itself.
Yes.
So, absolutely.
Okay.
Circle loops have more or less taken over. Even your social guys are now using circle.
Okay. Perfect.
Whether it's a fad, whether they want to be in with the crowd,
Yeah.
but circle loop is the way in the future.
Yeah.
I would say, I'm going to make a prophecy here. 10 years from now, it's going to be hard to find a team. Because there will be a circle loop for every single application. Light wire, heavy wire. Offset, non-offset.
Yeah.
Short chain, long chain.
Yes,
It's becoming a world of circle.
absolutely.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't use the same, because you're fishing the same water. You can be standing in a basin.
Oh.
You can, at the right time of year, you could catch a brown skate, a blue skate, a diamond, a honeycomb, a sand shark, and a
gray
gray
shark.
shark, and
Yeah.
a small blackfin, one after the other with exactly the same toast. You don't change your toast and say, now I want to catch a gray shark,
Yeah.
no, now I want to catch a blue skate.
Right.
You put out a 5-0, and you hook 99% of what comes back.
Hmm.
Whether you land them, that's up to you.
No, sir.
But
Yeah,
you
but-
hook
yeah.
them. You don't need to keep chopping and changing. Find one hook that you're happy with
Yes.
and fish it with confidence. Like everything else.
Okay, so in the Marutus, we got from a 1-0 to the 8-0. 5-0s right in the middle.
Right, and
We made it go with the 5-0s. That's pretty much it.
it's a good starting point.
Also,
Yeah.
on your J versus circle for a gray,
Hmm.
if your gray is gonna just sit there and eat at your J hook, are you gonna unhook that? Because it's not gonna be on the corner of your mouth, it's gonna be somewhere inside.
Yeah, no, I need one of these hook removers. No, but I totally get it because, I mean, going back to probably about 20 years ago, it's probably before you were born, I think. We used to use just 6-0 kennel rounds, master kennel rounds. That was our gray shark
So
hook.
that was your go-to hook.
Yeah.
Our times have changed.
Completely. And now we use inside
you
belts,
almost
but
never see them anymore.
yeah.
I say, even social anglers, if you walk up to a social guy on the beach and he's at all knowledgeable in general fishing,
Yes.
or somewhere in his bag you'll find a circle. He might not have
Yeah.
figured out how to use it yet,
Yeah.
but it's in there because he's read about it, he's heard about it,
Mm.
and he's going to try it at some point. But before we move away from the basin,
Yes.
there was an interesting story.
Aha, yes. Yes, we did touch on that interesting
that I
story
think
last
you
night.
might want to go before we move on.
Yeah, so guys, last night, Haj and I, we were fishing the basin, and obviously things were but quiet. I was just eager to christen the BG. Nothing much happened. Haj tied some killer baits for me. But we had some really good baits, Haj. I mean, we put out squid, we put out okkies, we put out mackerel. You showed me an amazing. I promise you, last night I'm like lying down and I'm thinking how she cut this bait. I've never seen it cut that way before. Guys, we're going to do a video on how she did this mackerel head.
Must do a video.
I've never seen that. That was amazing. So well done on that.
Thank you.
But as amazing as it was, I didn't get a fish. No, look, the conditions were trying. It was difficult. The wind picked up. It wasn't as it was predicted. However, I left and you were still there. And just before you could leave, you saw an angler get picked up, right? And there was what we spoke about last week. Now, I'm not saying it was because of that bait spray. We spoke about the bloodshot. But you did see the angler with the bloodshot, and his bait. You elaborate. You were there. I left. You tell me what you saw.
So you still bite for the evening
Clearly,
and all.
no matter how much we scale down.
And when we packed up, and we still had an angler that was fishing for. I'm assuming he was fishing for flatfish, and he didn't expect the toopy creature to come past. And his bait looked like he took it and he literally dipped it in a bucket of blood.
Well, is that how powerful it was?
Yes, it looked like, it looked like he had dunked it in blood. It was bloodshot red,
Yeah.
and it looked like it was reeking of that smell of whatever scent he was using.
Yes.
And that got him the bite.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was a grey shark, so it put him off completely.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would tell us we in this product last on previous episode
Yeah.
of Tackle Insider, and we saw it in beach with another angler, and it seems to be doing its job.
Fantastic.
There's definitely merits to it. I mean, when the bite is slow and nothing much is happening, I mean, why not think out of the box? You know what I mean?
It might be the only bite you get.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, we spoke about the blood shots last time, and it's something you don't want to get addicted to. But, I mean, last night, we stood in there, it was windy, it was a bit uncomfortable. And we had a good time, we were fishing anyway. But, I mean, you want to get a fish, you want to get a bite. And I was getting a whole lot of peckers out there and things. But, I mean, if the bloodshot is going to help, I mean,
It's gonna be in the box.
it's, especially when you're sitting out there for a couple hours. I mean, come on.
But that might also be the best time to use it when there's nothing happening.
That's a good time to
If
judge it.
there's
Yeah.
6 of you fishing fresh bait and there's nothing happening, you're not losing anything by experimenting. Wind it in, dip it. If you then get the bite, you've built a little bit of confidence. Not to save a little work tomorrow or anything.
No, it's hard to judge.
At that
Yeah.
moment, you're the only angler out of 6 which caught a fish.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to convince you, but it wasn't because of bloodshot. You
Yes.
want to be convinced.
Yeah.
I got nothing fresh bait. I took that fresh bait, I dipped it. It looked good. I put it.
Yeah.
I got it. But you're going to have a hard time convincing me it's not because of that bloodshot.
Well,
There's nothing
that's
to
exactly
say.
it. Because, like I said, Hajj tied an amazing bait. Now, I'm still carrying an injury. In case you're thinking, why I'm getting a girl to tie my bait. Guys, firstly, she's a protea girl. Secondly, I'm still carrying my injury, so it was hard for me to like bend down and like bait up. And she was more than willing to offer. And after I saw that, it was like, there's no way I'm not going to get pressed with this. But I didn't. And for some reason, the bloodshot, and so you're right. It is hard to convince me to say it wasn't the bloodshot, you know. So certainly something to try next time. So guys, I think we rounded off pretty much what we wanted to talk about in this week's show. Now, oh yes, absolutely. There we go. See that you pointed it. You pulled it.
I actually, that's
pulled it.
I purchased for the day.
Oh, now you see, there we go. We reviewed the BG, I bought it. We reviewed the clones, we bought it. We reviewed the tunas,
Yes.
and you're buying it.
Yes, I am buying.
What are you using it for?
So I scaled down a little bit.
Last night I saw that, yes.
So I am looking at scratching. I know there's been a lot of bigger blacktails around.
Huge ones, yes.
Yes. So this hook would be a little bit small for the bigger blacktails.
What size is
but
that? That's
it's
a-
size 6.
Okay.
But I am looking at scratching later on today because I need to break my blog.
You can't let go of last night.
No, I cannot. So actually I'm going to be fishing with this today. I like the size of it. What I like about the hook is that it's short, but the gape is quite wide.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm not going to miss a bite with this because generally when we have a longer hook, we tend to, it's tendency to just pull that hook and
Yes.
pull on the entire shank.
Yeah.
So when I look at this, I'm looking at putting a little piece, a small dangly bait, maybe a little, like a really tiny blob, and
Yeah.
fishing in the gullies for whatever you might get in there.
So you're gonna put a dangle on that tuna hook?
No, I mean like I'm gonna pull the blob.
Oh, build a blob bait like that. Oh, let the bait dangle out. Yeah, because I was wondering, what are you talking about there? I mean, I
size
know
dangle
you'd be
would
quite
go on?
technical with your stuff after some of your traces I saw last night, but that's no. Yeah.
So this is gonna be
Sorry.
definitely gonna be my go-to for the scratching season, especially fishing in the gullies, those little rock pools. And
Okay.
give you feedback on the next episode.
Yeah, well, watch the space. Look out for Hajj's TikTok. Look out for my TikTok. We'll have it out there. Let's see what happens with her
Look at
later on.
that bait video.
Absolutely.
Bait video
Whoa.
is very popular and instructive.
Yeah, especially the way you've done it. That was amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna do one.
Absolutely. So, guys, we spoke about a recap of what we had in our previous show. If you want to know more about it, if you want to know more about the BG, the Bloodshot, the clones, make sure to check out our previous video. And if that's coming up, this is the Tackle Insider. Guys, thank you so much. We've got John Otto, Hajra Ahmed, Safia Ahmed, and, well, of course, Vinesh Soogreem.